joining FIFA and I'm looking at the players that we have in our country, in Uganda, I'm in the process of changing our philosophy of football, busy changing the way we look at football, and I'm changing the way I want us to play football. However, I think when change has to come, it might be difficult for some people to accept, but change is sometimes needed if you have a goal and objective for a national team. So my objective is that I want to bring Ugandan women's football, that we become noticed and recognized in Africa. And with change, you bring your own ideas into the game, tactical, but you've got to obviously also, you experience the challenges that's out there. And there are challenges out there. But I'm the coach that believes that with challenges come solutions. And that is my job. So for every situation that we have, even though we lost 2-0 in Uganda, in Kampala, I believed and we believe that we could turn around the game in Nairobi. Because football is like that. We can change things around. And there's always the belief that we can win. And I always say there's no coach in the world that would prepare for a match to lose. Our aim is to, you could even see we've changed our playing style, we've changed our tactics. We put more pressure on your defense. We pressed high a little bit more. We were trying to win off the second ball and really building the ball up from the back and making sure that the fullbacks are part of the attack. But with goals, I've been with goals for many years, and with goals sometimes, if you bring change, you need to have the patience. If you bring change, you need players to be given the time to process the information. Now, if you get a few days to do that, it makes it very difficult. But the aim of the objective was always to come here and beat Kenya, isn't it? So, and with all that, with all the tools that we're giving them as a technical team, whether it's from a physical point of view, whether it's from a conditioning point of view, whether it's from a tactical, whether it's offensive, defensive, whether we wanted to overload certain zones in the area, where we wanted to really create a numerical superiority in certain zones in the field. Sometimes information can be so much that players tend to forget and remember what my job is within the game. And with that 90 minutes comes pressure. I mean, there's no way that we thought that we would come to Kenya and that the Kenyan team was going to sit back and change their philosophy. There was no way they were going to change the game plan. We knew they were going to play with the 4-3-3 formation. We knew they were going to start with Velma. We knew they were going to start with Genevieve and with Lauren in the defense, the two center backs. We knew that Lindy was going to be in the midfield, number 8. Now, if you have all that information, then you've got Brenda that you're bringing up. You didn't start, but you're bringing up. You know now that she's going to come in, and they're looking for the speed up front and the physicality. So we know all that. But the aim is for our goals, and I say this again, it is a process. And I can promise all of you out there today that we will improve Ugandan football, women's football. But we need time, and the girls need time to process this. What is it that we want them to do within the game, and how do we want them to play? And for us to say we want to play a certain way, girls have to do it continuously and consistently. If you do it 3 times a week, obviously we all know it's not possible, isn't it? But you've got to hope and pray that the processes, the information that you're sharing with them within the week, that they are learning. So a lot of learning. I always say this, we do more teaching and education in camp than really coaching, because it's about teaching them new things, new terminology, the way that we want them to play. And I can tell you, as I'm standing there, my mind is telling me that the Kenyan team has more maturity. They've got the experience. They've gone to the World Cup. They played against DPR Korea. They played Mexico. They played England. And even though they were out in the first group, but they had that experience behind them. So the players that the Kenyan team has, the 8 players, they were brought into this competition. If I was the coach, I was going to do the same thing, isn't it? You bring your strongest players, World Cup players here. So we were up against a team that's gone to the World Cup. Players had that experience. But my commitment and my goal will always be that when I'm done, Ugandan football will get a chance. There's an under-17 World Cup every year. We will get to the World Cup, but what we need now is for processing to take place, players to get used to the idea of how we want to play football.
Thank you, Coach. My name is Gladys from NTV. Doreen Aujat was key for you in the first leg. Today, she was not 100%, but again, you could see her contribution. Do you think one of the things that tactically did not work for you was her not being 100%?
Well, you know, when you start with a new team, you obviously need key players. I mean, you've got I think you've got 3 or 4 good players, and you build your plan around those 4 players. So the same with the Ugandan team. We've had 4 players that we're building our game plan around. But Doreen had an injury before, and I think the Kenyan, she's got family in Kenya. So you guys are aware of Doreen's capabilities. But as much as we knew that, we tried to rehabilitate her. What I even did, we played Ethiopia, and I brought Doreen in our camp with Crested Cranes, the senior women's national team. And we used that 2-3 weeks to really to rehabilitate and strengthen her. And she's done very well, she's recovered. But when you're not 100%, you know, when you've got a knee and you've got a muscle pulling, you've got a discomfort, and your one leg is overcompensating a little bit, you're going to have some challenges. So Doreen was not 100%. She could give us what she could. But because of her experience that she has, she's played she knows the Kenyan players. So it's important for us to really have it in the game. So it's got really nothing to do with tactically. Doreen was one of our key players, and we needed her in the team.
Coach, sorry, lastly, Patience. Today we didn't see Patience Asanyo, number 17. She was very instrumental in changing your game in the second half against Kenya in Kampala. Today, what happened?
Well, I think when you prepare for a match, you're looking really at combinations at training. I think in my view, I take training very seriously. If players are inconsistent in training, I always say they were on the list, and then they have a habit of taking themselves off the list because their performance are fluctuating daily. So there's a lot of factors. It could be experience, it could be maturity, it could be the conditioning that they're in. So I'm demanding almost 200% of training. But if it's not in your mindset as a player to give me 200% of training, I cannot put you in the team. It's just the way it is. And for me, it's always about who deserves to be in that first 11. The aim is that we want to make an impact in the first 10 minutes of the match. So the players that's not consistent, yes, they are good players, but I don't feel them. I have this thing I need to really connect with my players. If I don't see that you're consistently giving me what I need to really to demand or put up tactics and put on the opposition, then you have to sit on the bench. And sometimes sitting on the bench, they learn and they have to experience it. You know, Patience is a very good player, but there's certain aspects of the game I believe she has to improve. And the fact that Doreen, if you remember, she played in the middle and in Kampala. But there's certain bad habits players have, you know. Now I want them to change. And, you know, so sometimes they do things that you don't want them to do, and they do it consistently. Now, when a player does it consistently, and if we tell them to consistently change, it's going to happen in the game, isn't it? So which means in that player needs more time to buy into my idea, to say, I want you to stay wide because I want you to create width. I mean, your best defender was your left back. So we wanted our right winger to stay wide, to draw your defender wide, so that she doesn't get to Genevieve and Laureen to create 3, because we were ready 2 versus 1 up front. So if she had to come in, if our right wing comes in, then she creates a 3 versus 2, which makes it very difficult to penetrate. So these are small things that we want them to do. But if they are, I would not say it's resistant to change. I just think players need time to understand what is it that you want them to do, and then change will come. So now with Doreen struggling within the week to really give it to us in terms of going forward. You could see we changed our midfield. We played with a midfield rotation. Now, in that, with that rotation, Doreen was struggling. So we had to bring her really to the right wing so that she could really keep your left back at bay. You know? And that is really experience versus experience. But she was obviously had a bit of an issue with the leg.
Thank you, Coach. Final question, please. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much. Kenyan Football Association, I would like to say thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Gladys Midecha, NTV. Congratulations, 3 points at home. You did say that you intended to win this match when you were in Kampala. Today, we saw you change the squad and you put a more physical side compared to what you did in Uganda. Why did you do that?
Of course, when we played our away match, there were some gaps and we had to fill them in training. And also we had our best players who were not able to compete physically, but once we got someone like Asiko who could hold the ball for the rest to join in, and then it made the team comfortable in attack, and then we got our first goal immediately. And then now bringing in Brenda as a game changer, I think it summed up everything.
Coach, sorry, my last question. Of course, in the first game in Uganda, you did play Brenda in the first half. This time, you brought her in as a substitute. Did you think she was stronger as a substitute because she could read the game better? Because 2 goals, she's given you now 3, and this is only her second game. Are you confident in what she's going to do for the future at only 13?
She's a really good player. And she's able to read the game well. She plays under a lot of pressure, so I wanted to remove the pressure from her so that she's comfortable when she's coming in. So that's why I brought her in the second half, where she's comfortable, she's not under any pressure. And that's why she was able to express herself even more.
Coach, congratulations. Michelle Katami here. Just talk about the mental strength of these players, because it's very rare for young players to stay in the game in the 90 minutes, but we've seen a third goal when the game is just about to end. Just talk about the mental strength of your team and being in the game for over 90 minutes.
Apart from motivating them as a bench, they motivate each other, they pray together, they work out together, and they push themselves an extra mile than how we push them. So I think that gives us a mileage as a team. And also the fact that we bond together, we are friends, I think that also gives us a mileage.
Coach, congratulations. Curtis hapa Ghetto Radio. Next tunaface Cameroon, tough side, physically wako fiti. Maybe hii game tunai-approach vipi?
Cameroon ni wa physical, ni wakubwa, but we take it one game at a time. Tuko na kazi kubwa ya kufanya. Lazima pia to beef up squad, lazima to work on our physical sana. Ni job kubwa, but I believe madem wetu wanaweza. Yeah.
Hi Coach.
Hi.
Congratulations on your win. My name is Makumi. What was the preparation like, putting into fact that Tanzania, when they were playing against you, the team, they had beaten them 2-0, and then on the comeback they beat them 5-0, and so in the World Cup qualifiers previously, and the fact that this team has been in existence for lesser time compared to us, so the preparation, I know obviously was very vigorous, but what is the key factor that you'd attribute to your success coming into this in terms of performance?
What contributed greatly is that some of the squad members that we trained last year, we still have them this year. So making a few additions and a few adjustments went a long way for us. Most of them, they understand the system, they understand our way of play, our philosophy. So it was easier to bring in the rest to understand, because we already have the likes of the captain, Halima, who was there last year and understand the tasks ahead. So most of them are already motivated and already know what they are supposed to do. So it was easier. It was a bit easier to win because of that factor.
Coach, asante. Halima, labda kwa upande wako tu unaweza zungumzia mechi imekuaje na labda motisha gani imepata kwa camp kuelekea ushindi wa 3-0 dhidi ya Uganda?
Game imekuwa poa. Tuko happy because tumepata ushindi tena, na kwa camp pia tumekuwa motivated vizuri, coach amekuwa kintu encourage, technical bench imekuwa kituambia tunaweza make it, na pia sisi tulijua kweli kama away tulipata win, home ni possible because tuko na fans, tuko home na tulijua itakuwa easy. So I'm also happy because tuko ready next to face Cameroon.
Hi Halima.
Hi.
I'm Bri Mongina, and I would like to know how, playing in home feels like, because the home support has been amazing and it's something that we've been waiting for such a long time. So just seeing your friends coming to cheer you on, how does that make you feel as a player, them mentioning your name and remembering you, and I'm so sure they'll even follow you on your account. So how does that home support feel for you?
Playing home you feel better because you have a lot of support kwa families, players, coaches, wa team zingine wanakuja kutuwatch. So play home inakupea more motivation na una feel uko free na uko home. Yeah.
Hi Halima.
Hi.
Congratulations na ushindi. Swali langu ni kuna wakati first half I think tulikuwa tunaongoza bao moja tayari. Alafu down the right side I think ilikuwa ni Patience. Tulipoteza mpira. And nilikuwa na kuona ukiona signal sign ya calm down kila mtu. Wewe kama captain na leader kwa squad, how important is it for you to notice moments kama hizo na ku make sure team inabaki bado akili zao zinabaki kwa game, wa realize hatufai ku make rash decisions, we need to calm down? How important is it to you?
Ni important sana cause players, ukiwa captain, ukiwa leader kwa ground, players wote wanakutegemea. Time ako ana feel ako down, ni wewe ndio unafaa umuinue, umwambie relax, time ni yako, take time, ukiwa na ball tulia. So hiyo inamotivate pia, kama yeye anajua kama captain ameniambia nitulie, it means pia yeye ananipea motisha kwa kitu nafaa kufanya, so pia ana feel better na wana relax.
Halima, congratulations. Tukiwa Uganda uliahidi wa Kenya kwamba mshahakikisha, lakini sasa kila mtu analenga Cameroon na tunajua Cameroon si timu rahisi. Utaongelesha vipi wenzako waelezee? Wengi watakumbuka mechi ambayo the senior team iliondolewa na Cameroon kwa World Cup qualifiers. Utaongelesha vipi wenzako waelezea kwamba umuhimu wa kuwa composed kwa mechi hiyo ambayo inakuja?
First, tumekuwa tukiwatch hizo games za Cameroon wakicheza na Ethiopia. So pia sisi tunaanza kujiprepare mentally, psychologically. So tunajua pia Cameroon ni wakubwa na sisi hatutaangalia ukubwa wao. Football ni akili, so si ukubwa. So pia sisi tunaenda kuwa prepared more na tunajua coach atakuwa hapo kutusupport, atatupea kila kitu. Juu pia anafuatilia hiyo game, ata-analyze kila kitu na atatupea kila kitu tunahitaji, and you are ready to go to face them.
Asante Halima, asante coaches and all the best. Asanteni pia wanahabari kwa kuja.
Thank you.